Are you ready to get the hydrofacial glow? Loved in 87 countries across the world. It's not a facial, it's a hydrofacial. Now available across the UK. Visit hydrofacial.co.uk to find your nearest location.
And they measured the brain activity. And of all the things that you could do to stimulate your brain, apparently having an orgasm is it. You know, it floods you with endorphins and God knows what. And all areas of the brain lit up.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Orange.
The orange memo.
Orange, look.
Yes, I thought it was red. Mine's red, actually.
There you go.
Oh,
Orange.
that's lovely jacket, Sherry.
Yeah, it is quite a nice jacket, actually. It's a good colour.
Yeah. Isn't it?
Yeah.
So, girls, it's the Jubilee next week. Now, there's 2 days off, but I have to tell you, my daughter, right, who's in her 30s, it's been a big shock when I say that because I still think I'm in my 30s, but never mind. She's actually, I call her an old lady because she loves doing old lady things. And she said to me, I'm going to have a tea party on the day of the Jubilee. And she said, I'm going to have sandwiches and, you know, little cups and saucers with tea. And I said, well, actually, and my 3 grandchildren went, oh, fabulous. And then my granddaughter said, but, pointing to me, you have got to do the sandwiches. And do you know why? It's because I cut the crusts off sandwiches, which is really, that's quite old fashioned, isn't it?
Very old fashioned.
I love crusts.
I do too.
I go around eating the crusts.
Yes.
I do like a cucumber sandwich.
Yes.
I love a cucumber sandwich. That's from my grandmother because that's what we used to have on a Sunday.
That's it.
Yeah,
absolutely.
White
has
bread.
to be white.
Yeah.
Good white bread, not
a
chewing
good
gum.
white bread. Absolutely. Because you know what you said about the crusts? Because I cut the crusts off because I like the look of them. And I used to do that for my granddaughter when she was very young. And but I eat the crusts as I cut them off.
Yeah.
What do we like?
Have a Jubilee party.
Yes, but I mean, you know, I can't remember. Who am I? Where are we? We have a guest coming on right now who is a very old friend of mine. Not old in age, you know what I mean? Old, but
not.
She's written a book called How Not to Get Old, which I think we all need to know. But she is the wonderful, fantastic journalist, writer, and beautiful woman, the gorgeous Jane Gordon.
Hi, lovely to be here with you.
Lovely to meet you, darling. I've heard all about you.
Oh,
all
my
good.
goodness. Oh, good. Oh, good.
Welcome to our nest. And I would like to ask you, I mean, we met many years ago. Gosh, I can't remember how we met. And I remember your parties were always so fabulous as well. Please, can I come to another one?
Yeah, oh, please do. Yes, when I have the next one, the next book launch. But we also had those dinners I remember you came to where I'd get this sort of group of women round the table and give them copious sort of glasses of red and white wine and get them to spill their secrets.
Oh, it was so much fun. It was really, really fantastic. I loved your books, and I loved it was My Fair Man, wasn't it? And the Stepford Husbands.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, indeed.
We could all do with the Stepford Husband, but it's your new book.
My new book is non-fiction, you know, it's kind of like, my first non-fiction book.
Yeah, and do you know what? It's just because it's exact. What is lovely about this book is Dee was saying to me, what's Jane like? And I said, she's exactly like the book. I mean, it's you. Every part of you comes out in this book. But I want to know why did you start it? What happened?
Well, I started this thing because I'd always been sort of in denial of aging. You know how I'm sort of anti-aging in a way, and I thought I was sort of permanently caught in middle age, and then sort of just after I turned 60. I had this car accident and suddenly I found myself in hospital with various injuries. I mean, none of them life-threatening, but certainly unable to move, unable to walk for about 6 months. And I suddenly realized what it was going to be like to be old, like you know, or to be in a situation where you know you don't have the independence that I was used to, where people are having to kind of give you bedpans and, you know, bed baths, and, you know, you're on crutches and all that things which can happen when you're older. And I thought, I've done nothing. Never done any exercise properly, you know, more than a sort of like a trial week at a gym, and, you know, never carried anything through. And I'd never, you know, I just really neglected my brain as well, really. And I decided that I didn't want to be in this situation, this sort of being dependent on other people thing. And I didn't want it for my children either. You know, I didn't want to be dependent. And so I thought, well, what I'll try and do is future-proof myself by taking on all these challenges simultaneously to strengthen my brain and my body for, you know, for the years ahead. So that this is what, I mean, and to a certain extent it worked, because I did, you know, lots of things from ballroom dancing to life drawing to, you know, the gym and swimming and all sorts of things. And I did, I mean, the results were good. I think I lost 10 years from my, you know, my age, as it were, on these machines that record your body age. And I lost, you know, I got my BMI down to 18, and I lost 11 kilos in this period in which I was doing all this stuff. And my brain expanded too, because I had a Cambridge neuroscientist, Professor Simons, helping me through the whole thing, and he tested me and did various things at the beginning, and he was amazed with how quickly, you know, we all worry about our memories. I think that's another big thing as you grow older. You think, oh, you know, those capital letter words that you can't recall, but actually this neuroscientist said it's actually not necessarily a memory failure. And as actresses, I think you are very lucky, because you've had that facility to learn, you know, off by heart things, which is very, very good for your brain. And so you probably don't have memory lapses, do you? I don't know.
Oh, you do.
You do?
Oh, yes. That goes away, that memory.
Does it? Oh,
Yeah.
I thought it was a facility that was very useful in later life, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it's very often what he taught me was it's actually not that you're having a memory lapse, it's that you're not concentrating. You're not sort of, you know, you're not, yeah. Which is quite reassuring, because we all worry about dementia, I think, don't we? I don't know. I did.
All the time.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
And not being able to remember names, actually.
Sorry,
Like-
who are you? Who are you? What's your name?
Yeah.
like that.
It's always words with a capital letter that we forget. I think the real problem is when you forget words like, you know, spoon and sugar and things like that. That's when you need to kind
And
of.
wine.
But I think capital letter words, yeah, you know, like I don't know, cities,
all of
countries, people.
This is what it made you want to write this book, so that you actually put it down in words, what you're feeling.
Yeah, exactly. At the same time, and then sort of, you know, trying to get results. You know, I did a sort of macrobiome thing, you know, the gut cleanse, which is also supposed to be connected to the brain, or, you know, they call the stomach the second brain now, don't they? Which is
Wow,
strange.
Okay.
And a lot of the things I couldn't do, like ballroom dancing, was hopeless. But you know, I
love the way the
learn,
fact that you said that you are really a man, so you had to learn the men's steps.
Yes, I can't go backwards. It's one of those things. I never could. I can't reverse in a car either.
No,
I was particularly intrigued by chapter 5
Yes.
in your book, which
Yes.
was when you visited this place in Shoreditch, didn't you? Which was a little bit
Absolutely.
naughty place.
It's called Shush, and it's a women's only sex shop. I mean, I think men are allowed in if they're accompanied by a woman, but otherwise they're not allowed in. And it was kind of, I went with a lot of my challenges that I did with my friend Belle, and she's very straight-laced, and I persuaded her to come to this place where, you know, everyone, it was just like all the display, we were just agog because there were all these glass display cases with what we thought was like Venetian glass ornaments, but they turned out to be sort of dildos, glass dildos, some of which glow in the dark, and it was just very strange. And so we had this. It was a sort of masterclass in masturbation, actually. Well, not that we actually. We didn't actually take off our clothes or anything. It was just this teacher talking to us about, orgasms and how important they are. And they are, because that was the interesting thing for postmenopausal women, which I think we all are, that apparently a healthy sex life is quite important for your well-being.
Whether you're on your own or not.
Whether you're on your own or not. And also, what's the most interesting thing about the sex chapter is that actually they did this incredible, experiments at Rutgers University where they got women to go into MRI machines. Is this okay to say this? And
yes, I was fascinated by that. Honestly.
And, exactly. And they measured the brain activity, and of all the things that you could do to stimulate your brain, apparently having an orgasm is it. It floods you with endorphins and God knows what, and all areas of the brain lit up. So that's why it's quite good for you as you age to have orgasm, whether you're alone or.
You were saying in the book that you weren't sure if you'd ever had one.
I will no, Debbie, I'm still not sure. I'm not a very good pupil in that sense. And any of the challenges, really, I wasn't very good. And I thought, and that was really because this isn't it says to be a how-to book, but in fact, I'm not saying, because I failed at so many of the things. I didn't actually, I had a go and it did me good, but I didn't want to be one of those books telling people what to do. Do you know what I mean? There's so many of those sort of self-help books.
I love the fact that you said that, because so many times you read books, self-help books from people who are so good at everything.
Exactly.
And you just can never match up to them. And, it's a bit like that, the girl in the Pilates class, when you said she was about, she looked about sort of 18 and she was really aggressive and, and told you to speed up, and you know what I mean, even with sort of an 80 or 90-year-old, I thought that was hilarious.
Yes,
and we've all been through that, haven't we? Been to classes where
and patronised, because don't you get patronised as you get older, so I wanted to do it from as an amateur, really. You see what I mean? Not being very good at anything, really. I don't think I was very good at anything, and not even at masturbation either. I don't think. It was quite funny because at the end of this lecture, could you call it, a masterclass, obviously the idea from this sex shop was to sell some products afterwards. So she brings on all these extraordinary, bits and pieces. Now they've got digital, dildos and God knows.
Digital? How can they be digital?
So, they can be attached to your phone or something. It's all, it's high tech sort of, anyway. And so then because she knew that I was older, most of the women in this class were, they were 20s, 30s, 40s maximum. So obviously I was the oldest there. And she came out with this thing that she called, now what did she call it? I think she called it her true love. And it was a particular sex aid that was so powerful that you couldn't use it if you had
a pacemaker.
A pacemaker.
And she says, so she points to me and says, you won't be able to use that. I haven't got a pacemaker. But it was this idea of having a sex aid that was so powerful that it would kind of probably, I don't know, reset your pacemaker.
What were you saying, Sherry? What were you saying, Sherry?
I'm saying, writing a book like that, do you think it was very therapeutic for you?
It was huge.
Obviously, there's a lot more to it. And when you came to the end of it, did you think, well, you know what, that's taught me a few things now?
Well, it certainly did, Sherry. It I mean, and I actually loved it, even though I've never been as busy in my entire life, even when my children were small and I was working full time, because I was doing all these things, and I was doing French. I was trying to learn a language, you know, hopeless again. and I was, so it was like doing homework. I had to do homework for lots of these things, but I felt I was really living life to the full. And of course, as we go older, that is what I think, that's one of the problems, is that we don't allow ourselves to be busy enough. I mean, I don't know how you all feel, but I think the more you do, the more you can do. And that I very much felt that was the result of my experiment, was that I felt I was living to the full, and I felt really young. I mean, I really did.
Do you think you'd have a follow-up book to this?
Well, they have talked, but of course, the problem for the book was it came back out in hardback right in the beginning of the pandemic. So, but there was the idea that I was going to go on and do things like maths GCSE, which I never managed to do, and climb a mountain because I hate heights. You know, all those things that you know.
You know what? This would be a brilliant television series.
Well, I think it would, Debbie. Why don't you do it?
Yeah,
Should we do it?
Yes, I think we should.
I think it would be a brilliant. I think, you know, we'll get onto it. I think, you know, you and the WonderBirds.
Absolutely.
You'll become an on WonderBird.
Great fun.
So lovely.
Just brilliant. Oh, you've been the most incredible guest.
Well, thank you. It's been so lovely to be with you and see you again. Debbie.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, we must get together soon, and please come back and see us soon. I think we need to get the book to Sherry and Harriet, and we need to have more discussions.
Yes.
And the book, How
Thank
Not
you,
to Get
darling.
Old.
Yeah, how
And,
not to get old.
I'm not to get old. We've all got it. Thank you for coming. Bye,
Bye.
darling.
Bye.
Bye.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, honestly, this book is amazing. I mean, there's so many things, and you know, as we said, it's quite fun, isn't it, to sort of to find out about. I didn't think places like that existed, but maybe I'm overly sort of protected at the moment.
Well, I just think it's very interesting because we're all going through the same thing, you know, about
places existed anyway, because there's only a handful of people that would know, because you kind of have to live there, really. I think.
Yes.
It wouldn't be down your way.
No, definitely not.
Oh, I think there's probably quite a lot of them that we just don't know about.
Unless you're in the know, you wouldn't be part of that world. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Right.
right.
Exactly.
I think you're
But I'm
right.
very surprised that a lot of very young women are going to those things.
Well, it's the young women that it's usually sort of between 40 and 50, isn't it? When they go, hang on a minute, you know, I don't want to be 50. There's more to life than this. I think 50, that's what hit me at 50. So, whoa, no, hang on, I'm 50. I've got to move really quickly. And then I get older. And
The years start really going fast, don't they, after 50?
Yeah, they certainly do.
Oh, yeah.
The thing is that you look in the mirror though, but you still feel the same inside.
Yeah.
And that's the weird part, isn't it? Because
Yeah.
can you imagine if somebody drops you in your life in the future, or as now, even when you were 20, because this is the same person, but who the hell is that?
Who the hell is that?
Because I thought 50 was ancient, didn't you, when I was 20? I mean, I thought I would live until I was 50.
Would have
What a
been
shock.
50 was very old in 1950, or do you know what I mean? You'd have been an old woman.
Well, that's it. I mean, when you think about it, 100 years ago, you know, you were over the hill at 25 as a female, weren't you?
But so, you know, we have moved on from that, thank goodness.
A little bit. Anyway, we'll hopefully we will see you next week with Sherry and Harriet, but we've never seen them together, so we're
I know.
not quite sure.
Mm-hmm. Have a lovely weekend, girls. So lovely to see you. Yeah, Jubilee soon.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.